Hey guys, my name is Dan. This video is on the pitch envelope and functions in Operator. Here's a really cool sound I made. Kind of cool, I thought, and there's some interesting things going on there. So we'll get rid of those other oscillators that are pitched differently, keep the sound simple, run down to the pitch window here. There's the envelope, much like the LFO and the filter, and each oscillators have. And much like the LFO, you can direct it to what you want to affect by it. Since we did the LFO in the last video and the filter before that, what better idea is there than to modulate the LFO with the pitch modulator? And so, first off, not really worried too much about the envelope, but you might be asking, what's the pitch going to modulate if you have it hooked to the LFO? Mind you, you can also have it routed to each of the oscillators, but we'll get to the oscillators in another video, like I've said before. So the LFO, interesting, because in the last video, the LFO, remember, the amount is what modulates frequency cutoff, so the rate in this case is what is modulated by the pitch envelope, or just the pitch modulator. So you can see right there, the pitch envelope button knob modulates the rate of the LFO, and then the LFO modulates the frequency cutoff of the filter if routed to it with the amount. So it's kind of a daisy chain of functions modulating other functions. It's kind of cool. Thought I'd share. Can be used for some interesting things. Now, however, the spread does not affect the routing to the LFO, nor does the transpose, as they only affect the sound coming out of the oscillator. All right, so there's your demonstration for that purpose. All right, and also you can route it to a secondary attribute of Operator if you so desire. It's really fun if you really want to get into it that way. But those are the fundamental things with the pitch envelope and what it does and what it affects if you have it routed to the LFO. If you have it routed to the oscillator, A in this case, it will automate the pitch of that oscillator. Automate, modulate. So the envelope is going to dictate, based on its high or low values, what the pitch envelope does to the pitch of whatever you have it routed to. Or, an oscillator doesn't modulate the pitch of the LFO because the LFO doesn't have a pitch. So anyways, for this purpose, we'll just talk about the oscillators. So with the envelope that's here, much like the other envelopes I've already went over, you can set the times for when the pitch does what to the note after you hit and initiate the note. Let's see what 10 seconds does. Mind you, I don't have the pitch envelope set to differentiate from zero value very much, so maybe I should increase that a bit so that there's more of an audible difference. Okay, so you can hear as the line goes towards the top, the value of the what is the value? Okay, it's the peak value that is determined after the attack, and so the more positive you have it, if I have a positive pitch envelope value, okay, it goes up in pitch. If I have a negative pitch envelope value, it goes down in pitch. All right. So that's a bit slow for the attack, but basically you can get your pitching to occur within the time parameters of how long you have your notes playing for. And this is probably more attributed to be more for consistent length notes rather than variable length notes, as the effect may not be suitable. Let's see, we could do like half a second, third of a second. Oh wait, we don't even have a pitch difference. Come on. So when the values are low, see how the sustain is at negative, then if you have the pitch envelope at a negative with a envelope value negative, then the opposite of that happens, much like multiplication does in math. Okay, so some interesting things you can do there. And then there's the release of, as you may already have guessed. And so you can hear it change after I release the key. Yeah, it gets kind of quiet, so it's hard to hear that pitching up after I release the key. So if I throw that resonance in the filter up high enough with the OSR filter selected, it should be interesting. It doesn't even care if the sounds are being pitched up. That's how driven the resonance frequencies are in the OSR filter. Weird. Okay, enough of that. All right, back below 100%, so it doesn't do funny stuff. LFO for the pitch is up. Release time is set for 3 seconds. Yeah. Make it more. Okay, so there's a good example of the effect of the release that on the pitch of the oscillator after you release the key. All right, so with this obvious envelope effect occurring, one other thing that is kind of cool to do, much like you could do with the LFO and the filter, is you can loop the effect of the pitch on whatever you have it routed to. The loop mode, like before, just loops it around from the attack to the sustain. Okay, so I think I've dutifully demonstrated that. Now the beat, we already went over the beat in the last videos, looping according to the BPM mix. trigger mode, which is like looping, except for it includes a release time, even though you don't release the key. I'll demonstrate it again. I'll try to follow with the mouse what the sound's doing. So for some reason, and then there's not really, there's a time, but it doesn't want to loop on trigger. So trigger's not really looping. But it just goes through the whole envelope as, I don't know. That's what it does. So anyways, so there's the things that you can do with it. And this also has that time velocity thing where the harder you hit it, the faster it goes. Or the softer you hit it, if you hit the negative values, the softer it goes. So it's just however you want to have that effect apply to your keyboards when you hit them hard or not. So that's the thing with that. Oh, one more thing. There's a cool little thing that you've been hearing the whole time, and that the legato, and so that, or it's called the glide here. You can have it on and off, right? It might be easier. Actually, might be easier to demonstrate if the pitch of the existing pitch envelope didn't interfere with the glide. Hold on, let me get that out of here. All right. And then, of course, you can set how long it takes for the pitch slide to occur when you hit a new note. So, some really kind of interesting things that you can do. And Live decided that they were going to put the slope parameters back into the pitch envelope, which is really cool. So that you can adjust the pitch, or the slope, I should say, of the pitch modulator in the envelope. Not included in the LFO, not included in the filter, not included in the oscillators. Just the pitch. And there was somewhere else it was also included, and I forget what it, I want to say it was the filter. Okay, so it's included in the pitch modulator and the filter, or the pitch envelope and the filter envelope. Both have the slope adjustable parameters. For some reason the LFO doesn't, so for who knows why the oscillators don't have that. That's just really weird. But anyways, so that's the deal with the pitch modulator and envelope and operator and the kind of the cool stuff that you can do with it. So I'm just going to mess around and do some silly things, and thank you for watching. Please like or comment. Let me know that you watched it. Feel free to throw me a comment and say something, and let me know that there's other people out there. So appreciate your guys' time. Have a good day.